Hi, welcome to Just Common Sense. My name's Brian Harrison. So we need to talk about a few things today. Joe Biden spoke today, and he spoke for a little while to reporters. He got hit pretty hard with some of the reporters out there. Well deserved. Look, his poll numbers are 33%. It's terrible. It's terrible. And they're going to drop some more. So I heard, as I was listening before he spoke today, I was listening to some of the reporters and things that they were hoping to hear. They were hoping to hear something new out of this guy. It's the same old rhetoric. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. And this is sad. We all are feeling the stress of what's going on in this country and throughout the world right now. We really are. And all joking aside, I usually get on here with Jerry and we talk and we joke and we do a variety of things. But right now, this is some serious stuff going on right now. So if you heard Joe Biden today, and this has been going on for a while, I'll be honest, he's not there. His memory, his thoughts, this person is not there. And he could be going through dementia, whatever the case may be. They need to evaluate him. They need to have some doctors really evaluate this guy. It's sad. I'm not going to get into, him being left, right. It's sad to see someone go through this. It really is. And even if you don't like the guy, I don't want to see anybody go through this. All kidding aside, all the jokes we do on this show and everything else, but I don't want to see anybody go through this. If it's dementia, whatever the case may be. A lot of things are going on with this guy if you watch him. He can't speak properly. He can't get the questions out properly. When someone asks him something, it takes him a minute to just think about it. And, it's sad. It's sad to see this, but it's also embarrassing for our country. It shows weakness as well. And it really does. It shows weakness to other countries such as Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. So I want to talk about this. I was talking to somebody about this earlier today. What accomplishments, true accomplishments, has Joe Biden done for this country? What has he done? Name one without hearing what he has to say about jobs. Well, we've seen what's going on there. Yes, people are going back to work from COVID. We've seen stuff where he's bragging about a variety of things, but none of it's true. Either he's lying or he doesn't know what's going on. It's sad, but it's also embarrassing. This man needs to step down. He needs to step down. Or someone needs to set up and get this guy impeached. They need to impeach him. He's dangerous. He's very dangerous. Guys, if you heard when he spoke about Ukraine today, Russia's got troops piled up against Ukraine right now, just sitting there. Showing strength is not what he said today. That was a sign of weakness. He said, well, we'll have to see. If it's a partial incursion, then we'll just have to see. That just told Putin, you got a green light. Think about it. Anybody in the military, and you guys know this, just like police and all, everybody, and anybody with some common sense out there, partial incursion into another country is not something that shows strength. Look, if we had Russia and they brought a bunch of ships and all of a sudden they wanted to do a partial incursion of part of the United States here, And Joe Biden's sitting here going, it's a partial incursion. Oh, no, that's not. That's an all-out war. It really is. And you can't let this stuff happen. Right there, he showed weakness and definitely gave Putin a green light and showed weakness to the other countries out there as well. And also to our allies. Our allies are probably freaking out right now going, this guy has got to go. We look at the United States as a beacon of light, a beacon of hope. And that's what other countries want to see. But now, when they see a weak president in our country to back their country up if there's a problem, such as Ukraine, you think they're sitting there going, well, we're going to cheer for this guy. No, they're afraid. They see the writing on the wall. All right, so I will be playing some segments tonight. And I'm deeply, deeply, deeply scared about this man and what he can do to this country. And the people that follow him, especially on the radical left up there. I'm not talking about people in general. I'm talking about the government, what they're doing. And even his own party, they're starting to see it. You're seeing a couple of people that are on the left removing themselves from that and going over to be a Republican. They're seeing the light. And I'm not saying Republicans are perfect. No, they're not. They're not. But this is terrible what's going on. This guy's got a lot of anger issues. And you're going to see that the more you watch this guy. I'm really bothered by this. I'll say it. Look, when he said something the other day, let's talk about this too. When he said he was talking about George Floyd is more basically memorable than Pearl Harbor. That's sad. That's scary. Talking about Martin Luther King. That's what I meant to go. Martin Luther King. George Floyd is more memorable than Martin Luther King. That's what he said. I apologize. I was thinking of Harris on that one with the Pearl Harbor. Sorry. We got off track there. I can do that sometimes. But that being said, see, I was having a moment myself. But seriously, that is a terrible thing to say. Martin Luther King as he said, had a dream. And I don't oppose Martin Luther King at all. Anything he did, I feel he was a good person. He had great ideas and great. It was a different time back then. But George Floyd, you really want to know the history of George Floyd, look him up. Look up this guy. What happened up there was definitely wrong. But, again, this guy's been in prison. He was doing stuff that particular day. You could look it up a bit. It's in my podcast. But I don't want to get off track of what we're really talking about tonight. We're talking about Joe Biden. Look, I'm going to play a couple segments. First of all, let's play one right now and we'll talk about it.
Why are you trying so hard in your first year to pull the country so far to the left?
Well, I'm not. I don't know what you consider to be too far to the left. If in fact we're talking about making sure that we had the money for COVID, making sure we had the money to put together the bipartisan infrastructure, making sure we were able to provide for those things that in fact would significantly reduce the burden on working class people, but make them, they have to continue to work hard. I don't know how that is pointed to the left. If you may recall, you guys have been trying to convince me that I am Bernie Sanders. I'm not. I like him, but I'm not Bernie Sanders. I'm not a socialist. I'm a mainstream Democrat, and I have been. And mainstream Democrats have overrun me. If you notice, the 48 of the 50 Democrats supported me in the Senate on virtually everything I've asked.
Okay. Do you feel, and truly, do you feel that he is not trying to divide this country? What's happening with everybody? Division. That question was asked for a reason, because the American people are seeing what's going on with him and his party. And he brought up Bernie Sanders. Well, that's another one. Socialist. I've said it before. Socialism, just another word for next step communism. They're almost one and the same. Remember baby steps I've talked about? Conditioning. It's sad to see that. Let's talk about the COVID money. Where did it all go? Didn't go to COVID. Some went. Not all of it. That's for sure. Where did that money go? We want answers. We're not going to get them. Let's talk about what Joe Biden, his accomplishments. We talked about that a little bit ago. His accomplishments for us. What? Let's go there. I don't see any. I see accomplishments for China that he's done, for Russia, for Iran. Shall we go on? Helping people in Russia with their jobs and their basically when he cut down the pipeline or shut down the pipeline here, it was being built. Now, guess who's got more people? They took sanctions away from Russia. Not good.
One more, sir.
Listen.
You campaigned and you ran on a return to civility, and I know that you dispute the characterization that you called folks who would oppose those voting bills as being Bull Connor or George Wallace, but you said that they would be sort of in the same camp.
No, I didn't say that. Look what I said. Go back and read what I said and tell me if you think I called anyone who voted on the side of the position taken by Bull Connor that they were Bull Connor.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an interesting reading of English. I assume you got into journalism because you like to write.
So did you expect that would work with Senators Manchin or Sinema?
No, here's the thing. There's certain things that are so consequential. You have to speak from your heart as well as your head. I was speaking out forcefully on what I think to be at stake. That's what it is. And by the way, no one forgets who was on the side of King or Bull Connor. No one done that. The history books will note it. And when I was making the case, don't think this is a freebie. You don't get to vote this way and then somehow it goes away. This will stick with you the rest of your career and long after you're gone.
And Mr. President,
folks.
Okay. Did you hear that word forcefully?
Biden.
Forcefully. That's the way he seems to run everything himself. He tries to force everything on anybody if it's not the vaccine. If it's not screaming at people. He's got a very bad temper. We've seen it. He's not fit to run this country. He really isn't. Guys, go to my website, www.just-markcommonsense.com. Again, www.just-markcommonsense.com. And give me some feedback what you think. Truly give me some feedback. So, Tom Tillis was speaking tonight. I heard him speak. And to be honest, he was talking about Ukraine. He was talking about what should be done. I am not a fan of Tom Tillis, obviously. I think he's weak. I think he's a lot of talk. Look, Tom Tillis is up there talking about sanctions. Sanctions don't work with Russia. They do not work. What works with Russia is to be stern with them. Show us some spine, show a backbone, and say, look, you cannot go in Ukraine. We will not accept it. There will be consequences. And believe me, it's not going to be just sanctions. I would call Putin and say, back off, if I were in Biden's position. In a nice way. Do it nicely at first, but be stern. They've done this before. And I know some of you don't like Trump, but I'll say it. When he was in office, we didn't hear about this. Trump was stern. He didn't play games. Look, my father, like I said, was in the Marines. He could be stern at times. The military's like that. They can be stern when it's time to be stern and say, this is it. It's time to go. Guys, that's the way to handle this stuff. Stand up. Not saying we need to get in a war. I hope not. I've always said on the other side of war, there's a peace. But we don't want to go down that road, especially with Russia. Russia's not going to want to go down that road with us. They really don't. Because that gets into a nuclear war, perhaps, hopefully not, and no one wins. That's a no-win situation for any country. So that's not where any country wants to go. And if they do, then you got a crazy person that's running that country. And there might be a few out there. Obviously, we could talk about some crazy people, and obviously Afghanistan. Oh, yeah, another failure, by the way. That was good. Oh, you also helped them, too, Joe Biden. A failure we don't seem to want to talk about anymore. Should be apologizing to the Afghans. This is what you should be doing, Joe. This is sad. All right, so that being said, I was in a grocery store tonight. We're going to have a big snowstorm here, perhaps. There's been talk about it. My friends have been harassing me all day about it, by the way. Because obviously I'm posting all these different things. We're going to have this much snow, this much snow, this much snow. And for you guys that are not in North Carolina, it's hilarious here. Like you guys in New York, for example, you're probably going, oh my gosh, you're getting 3 to 6 inches of snow. What's that? That's nothing to us. Well, in North Carolina, you get 2 inches of snow. It pretty much shuts everything down. But I can say this. I think the snow is different between there and here because you get a lot more ice here. But again, you see the plow trucks running half the time with the plow up and everything else. People, you know what I'm talking about. And oh my gosh, hold on, bread and milk. That's another thing we hear about all the time. Why are you getting bread and milk for just a couple days? Oh my God, the world's going to end. Oh gosh. First of all, I don't get it. Bread and milk. I'd rather be getting canned goods and having that in my house if I have to. There I can pop the top open and just heat up somehow. Obviously, I've got gas. Some people don't, but that's fine. There's other ways to heat up food. But I just laugh about it, how the grocery store gets like that. But on a serious note, grocery stores across the country, and a lot of you are seeing it, there's empty shelves. I was in a grocery store tonight. I'm not going to mention the name of the grocery stores, but it's a very big chain of grocery stores, especially here in the Carolinas. Manager came up to me tonight. I was asking him, I said, wow, everything's getting a little short right now. A lot of shelves are empty because of what, snow? And he goes, no. He goes, things are getting worse and worse by the day. He said, we were supposed to get a whole bunch of trucks. We got one truck. He said, because obvious reasons. he blamed the administration in D.C. I blame the administration in D.C. They're not talking about what's really going on out there. This is scary when you start seeing grocery stores running out of food. Start looking around, guys. Start looking at the holes in grocery stores, like in the meat department. I saw a section, a good-sized section of empty shelves. Other departments, spotty food here and there where you didn't see it. Produce. Had nothing to do with the snowstorm coming. And I've seen it in other grocery stores as well. Gas prices, somebody said, oh, they went down a little. They're going to go back up. Can only get so much out of the reserves. Empty those out, and we already know what they're supposed to be for. That's a problem. I start seeing what people are saying. Or I start hearing what, let me phrase it. I start hearing what people are saying, what they're talking to me about. They're saying, what can we do? I have people asking me constantly, what can we do to make things better? First of all, what we can do is get him out of office. That's one thing. Get somebody in there who actually knows what they're doing. Somebody that's going to put pressure, obviously, on China, for one thing. Put pressure on Russia. Put pressure on Iran, North Korea. And then, let's talk about the COVID. Everybody wants to blame everything on COVID. It's not all COVID. No, I don't believe it's all COVID. I'm saying that's a part of it. But there's other things that are causing this. We're hearing chip shortage, glass shortages, paint shortages, groceries now. What else? I'm seeing things where it's getting further out to get things. It's time for the American people to stand up, do the right thing, and vote these guys out. Do the right thing. American people need to stand up instead and call for the impeachment of Joe Biden. You should be writing your senators. You should be calling your senators daily. You should be making those phones ring off the hook. Tell these senators and congressmen and women, look, you work for us. Time to do the right thing. Do what we tell you, where you work for us. Impeach this guy. I think Harris should be impeached as well. She's not capable of running the country. We've seen it. You know, I make jokes and call her giggles, but not tonight. This is serious stuff. It's just getting worse. It really is. Guys, give me your feedback again. www.just-markcommonsense.com. Again, www.just-markcommonsense.com. And, you know, they're talking about voting rights and things like that. They're trying to push a lot of things through, and that did fail tonight for the Democrats. Thank you, you Republicans, for doing the right thing. And a couple of the Democrats, thank you. I think a couple of the Democrats, two of which, stepped in. Guys, cross the line, become Republicans or something else. Get away from that party. You're seeing what's happening. The party's falling apart. We see what's happening in other states right now in California. There's a lot of crime in California. We've talked about this New York crime. Look at Chicago. Craziness up there. I mean, you're talking about kids. I mean, kids need to get back to school. I'm not going to talk about COVID tonight because I can go on for that for hours and hours and hours. I sat on the phone the other night, literally, and I'll say it. Jerry and I were on the phone. We were sitting here with a whole bunch of people in the room. I got to speak for a while. We were talking to doctors, nurses, finding out a lot of stuff. A lot of things are going on with this. Some of the stuff that if I put out there, I'd be cut off because social media doesn't want to do the right thing. Some of them, they don't want to stand on the right side of being right. They just want to shut you down and try to control everything. Well, if their heart believes in that, the owners of those companies, it's pretty bad. They're not following not only the American people, but they're not following, and I don't want to get too much on this, but they're not following God. I'll say it that way. All right, guys. Enough being said tonight. I can go on for hours. I don't want to make this too long of a podcast tonight. I've been on for about 25 minutes. So, again, go to my website, www.just-markcommonsense.com. So, I am going to get out there quite a bit. I've got to go. I'm getting on with people right now. I'm talking to people. I've been talking to senators, some congressmen and women out there about a variety of things. Got some of them following me right now, talking to me, giving me some ideas. Doctors, nurses, we've talked about that. So you're going to see a lot more of me out there, and I'll be out there in Raleigh, and I'll be all over the place, especially as it gets warmer. I'm not going to be out. I'll be out. Actually, I will be out this weekend having some fun. If it snows. I love snow. So, hey, I grew up in Florida. I didn't get to see snow when I was a kid. So I'll be out playing in it. I'll throw snowballs at my wife or something. Yeah, she would kill me. And she can outrun me. Anyway, she runs seriously 4 to 5 miles a day. We've been together almost 15 years. Only one day I didn't see her work out. One day. So she is strong and scary if she gets mad. But she's adorable. She's cute, but she definitely works out. Guys, again, just want to say this. Thank you for our law enforcement for everything you do. Thank you for our military. Again, thank you for everything you do as well. Appreciate your service. I'm actually dealing with a lot of people in the military this week. For some reason, I'm running across a lot of them, talking to them about a variety of things. Our farmers, I really, really, truly want to thank you. And in my, how do I say this? I am deeply concerned with what I'm seeing in grocery stores right now. And please, if you're a farmer, please email me. Go to the website, www.just-markcommonsense.com. Go to my email. Please, if you're a farmer, tell me what's going on. I would really like to share what you are saying, what's really going on when you're trying to sell your product and trying to get it out there, and what's going on with the grocery stores and all, because I'm hearing it from the grocery stores, but I want to hear it from the farmers. Same with truck drivers right now. Please go to my website and email me. I'd love to hear from you and find out more of what's really going on, the facts from actual people, what's going on. And again, I want to thank our first responders. We know you guys are going through a lot. Guys, seriously, if you're going to go to the hospital to go get a COVID test because you have no symptoms, stop. Just stop. Learn to be sick again if it's not COVID. Look, if you're not well and you're really severely sick and you have to go to the hospital, we all understand that. But you don't need to pile up in the hospitals just because you think you have COVID and you just got a scratchy throat or you don't even have any symptoms. Go to your doctor if you're that worried. If you're that worried, go to your doctor. Don't use these COVID test people for just to say, oh, I got to see if I have COVID. It's not funny. It is not funny to go get tests and say, oh, I'm going to see if I have COVID because I don't have symptoms. Guess what? These tests are hard to get. They're trying to put out more of them, so they say. People that need these tests are people with real problems. People with diabetes. People with heart conditions. People that are actually have all kinds of other issues. People that are elderly. So think what you're doing every time you go out there just to say, I'm going to take a quick test. That elderly person may be trying to get a test, and it's hard for them to get a test because of you. Stand up, do the right thing. All right. Well, I was in a restaurant as well the other day, and again, I'm hearing it from people that work in restaurants. They're not seeing a lot of people right now. A lot of that's because of fear of COVID, I'm hearing a lot of that. There's still short staff here and there. Good job, Biden. You say everybody's jobs are getting better. Well, I don't know what world this guy lives in, but it's not real. And again, anyway, that's all I'm going to say tonight. God bless you. God bless America. And thanks for listening. Take care. And again, I will be out there, and definitely go to my email and send me some responses. Thanks for listening. Take care and good night, and God bless you.